Welcome back to another transformational story. Today we are here with Dianne, and she's here to share a little bit of information about her experience working with me through our anxiety relief program. So, welcome, Dianne.
Hello, it's good to be back.
Hello. It's so nice to see you again. Now, I wanted to ask you, I want to jump right in because I know a lot of viewers are struggling with anxiety issues, and you have an amazing transformational story to share. So I'm curious, like, what made you reach out to me to get in charge of this anxiety issue that was going on?
I was so stuck. I had previous trauma throughout basically my whole life, through family issues and through marriage issues. And I had a loop playing in my brain, and I couldn't get rid of the loop.
Mhm.
It was on repeat. I had been to a conventional psychologist in previous years,
Mhm.
and she was great, and that worked for a time until it didn't.
Mhm.
And then the loop kept on playing, and I got to the point that I couldn't leave my house. I couldn't. It was everything that I could do to go grocery shopping, and my list had to be really short because I couldn't stand to be in a store for any longer than a couple of aisles, and I would have to get out.
Mhm.
Spending time with family other than my daughter and son, extended family, boy, that was a lot. That was everything that I could do. And I had family visiting me all the time. They were coming into the city all the time.
Mhm.
So what I was feeling and experiencing, I knew wasn't my normal. It
Mhm.
wasn't my personality. It wasn't anything like that. And I just needed to get unstuck.
Yeah. And that's
That was,
you reached out to me. You were searching online for some help, like lots of
I
people do.
was,
And
I was. I thought, when I found your hypnotherapy and when I found you, I thought it's worth a try. I wasn't getting anywhere on my own.
Mhm.
I went back to my regular psychologist. I wasn't, and as good as she is, um, it wasn't working the second time around.
Mhm. Mhm. And how long has the anxiety issues been going on in your life, on again, off again?
I had had, well, anxiety issues for pretty much probably, I don't know, 20 plus years.
Mhm.
I had two full mental breakdowns.
Mhm.
Uh, the last one that happened was in 2020, and that was really bad,
Mhm.
to the point that I couldn't speak. I couldn't without crying. Like nobody could touch me. It was full. It was really, really bad.
Mhm. And what, like, outside of the therapy that you did over the years, like, what else did you try to resolve the anxiety issues?
It was pretty much the lessons that I was taught during my psychology sessions.
Mhm.
The EMDR and the different tap methods and the different right but eye movements. And um, they were short term, short lived for me.
Mhm.
Um, Second time around, it just wasn't working. My brain was on a loop. And that's
Yeah.
the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah.
I would have a thought that would come into my head, or a name would pop into my head, and that would tend a whole great big loop of a spiral, and it was over and over and over and on repeat.
Mhm.
And it just couldn't, I was just stuck.
Yeah.
I needed to get unstuck.
Yeah. And
I had left a marriage that, I was back on my own. There was no reason for these loops to be playing
mhm.
again. The issues that I was having around relationships, I wasn't in those relationships anymore. So there was no need for the loop.
Mhm. Mhm. Makes sense.
Mhm.
But the
And
irrational stuff was still there.
logically, I knew that,
Mhm.
but It wasn't getting out.
Yeah. And I've heard that so much. Now, what did you like when you found me online? What were your thoughts about hypnotherapy before you met me?
I thought it was worth a try. It was unconventional.
Mhm.
Conventional wasn't working. And what was I out to try it?
Yeah.
What was, you know,
And we
I
worked
wasn't
together for a really short time, right?
did. Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
And
We had an introductory session and then we had 4 sessions after.
that's right. That's right. I remember that now. And you're like, well, you know, this let's jump in. Let's try this out and let's see what happens. And
Yeah.
then that's right. We did one session and then you reached out to me very quickly after and said, I'm starting to notice some changes. Let's keep going.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And every session was another step forward. Every
Mm-hmm.
session I felt better than the previous session.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was able to have family in from out of town. I had basically the month of May, I had my nieces and nephews from various parts of Canada and the US come in to stay with me for a week at a time. And one group would leave and another group would come in, and I had my house was full. And I was able to do that. And I was able to enjoy them. And my sister kept on saying, because it was her kids, and she kept on saying, I'm worried. Like, are you going to be okay with all of this?
Mm-hmm.
I was good. It was great. And prior to our sessions, that was something that would have been extremely difficult to do.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done it, but it would have been, not as it wouldn't have been enjoyable. This was really enjoyable.
That's what I was just going to say. It sounds like you would have done it, but you wouldn't have been being yourself and just enjoying the
No,
moments and with the family and the friends and that type of thing. Yeah.
yeah.
And so, you know, what would you say to someone who is struggling like you were struggling? What would you say to someone that's kind of like sitting on the fence? I wonder if this will work. I wonder if this will help me. Like, what would you say to someone like that who might come across our video?
Try. You're not out anything. Try it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, just try.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an upside, and what works best for me, was this. You gave me tools. You gave me tools that I'm not saying that throughout life everybody has challenges, right? And I still have challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a tool that I can calm my brain, I can relax, I can get back to what I now call my center
Yeah.
and just focus on that, and all of that outside noise, it just goes poof, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Exactly. And your life changed so much because I know we were communicating for a little bit. You were sharing some amazing things that happened. So, like, what are you most excited about with your future now that you're not dealing with this constant
So
loop?
because of our sessions, oops, I don't know what happened here. I moved the cursor, hang on. Because of our sessions, I was able to reach out to a person that I knew loved with my whole heart. And I needed to find out how he was. So 33 years ago, I met and fell in love with a fellow from the States. We dated off and on for the better part of 11 years. He worked all over the world with his company. Um, and he had young kids. I had young kids. my job wouldn't allow me across the border, let alone bring my kids with me. And it was the same for him. So after 11 years of this, we parted ways. It was really too difficult to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
So after we parted ways, I got remarried about 1.5 years later. And it was 1 foot forward. And I was bound and determined I was going to get over him and I was moving on with my life, regardless of the red flags that were popping.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in that marriage for just about 20 years. And I missed this fellow all of those years. But you kind of set it aside, right? You're in a new relationship, you set
Mm-hmm.
that aside. So after our sessions, I had the confidence and I thought I'm healed enough now that I didn't want baggage. I didn't want that trauma going forward.
Yeah.
So I reached out to his youngest son, who I knew quite well, found him on Facebook. And he said, Dad and I have been looking for you for 20 years. And I recently just went down into the States about a month ago and met my boyfriend, who is currently now my boyfriend. We connected after 22 years, and after 22 years of being apart, it was like 2 weeks had only passed. Everything was there. Everything was still there. Just, it's so good. I am so happy. I'm just waiting for his passport to arrive. And once he gets his passport, we're going to be spending 6 months in Canada and 6 months in the US
Ah,
together.
I'm so happy for you, Dianne. What a amazing story. And, you
So
talk
because
about confidence is just like I can see it.
oh, because I was able to heal, I was able to go forward.
Yeah.
I was able to do this.
Yeah. Get on with your
I
life.
was I was able to reach out and really connect. And I've connected with other people in my life that, from my past, girlfriends and, people that I haven't seen in a long time. And those relationships were so important then, and they're still important now. I've got them back.
Oh
It's
my
great.
God. That's so amazing. So
It's great.
amazing. And,
Yeah.
I remember, starting to work with you and, how things evolved and now hearing, it's been months and months
Yeah.
since we've worked together, right? And so, and things are just continuing to flourish and, life happens, you deal with
Life.
it in a
Yeah.
calm, cool way, and you keep moving forward instead of being pulled down into the quicksand and going back into the loop again, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
If this gives somebody a little bit of hope and a little bit of confidence to try something different, to try something new,
mhm.
I'm happy to do that for somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And hypnosis and hypnotherapy isn't new, but it's a lot of people haven't done it because they've been
Oh,
doing the psychology and the talk therapy and the
yes,
counseling and the medication and all the
yes,
things that they tell you to do, and
yes,
they're still suffering, right? And so you were open-minded enough to go, hey, what I'm doing isn't working. So let's think outside the box. Let's do something different. Yeah,
yes,
right?
yes,
And you discovered the power of your mind because all the answers were up here. You just didn't know how to access the answers to solve the past trauma and all that stuff.
yeah. I remember hypnotherapy for me, like I remember my life. I remember all of the issues.
Mm-hmm.
The issues don't replay
Mm-hmm.
on the trauma that I had stuck in my brain with those issues. It's just not there.
Mm-hmm.
The memories are there,
Yep.
but that anxiety, that strong anxiety, isn't attached to it any longer.
Yeah. It's like this happened, but there's no charge to it anymore.
There's no charge to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I wanted to thank you so much, Dianne, for sharing your experience and your story with me and with others, whoever's viewing this video. And if you're watching this video and you're wondering if what I do can help you resolve the anxiety and trauma that you've been going through, make sure you reach out to me. I'll put a link down in the video comments where you can access my calendar to find a time. And what if it works? Like Dianne, right? What if this works? So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Dianne, for taking time out of your summer schedule to meet with me. And I look forward to staying in touch with you. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.